Hello, Jason. It's Thursday, March 20th, the first day of spring, or as we call it here in Canada, just another snowy day. Despite the unseasonable weather, I've actually managed to get a few miles in. Over the past couple of days, I've upped my total to 28.38 miles. Which, considering the fact that the weather's been up and down, I'd have to say I'm pretty proud of. Unfortunately, yesterday I suffered a minor setback when, about a mile and a half into my run, something happened to my left leg and it hurt a lot. So essentially I had to slow down to a walk for the majority of the remainder of my run, but I did manage to finish off strong. But I'm afraid that for the next couple of days at least, I'm going to have to take it a bit easier to see if this was an isolated incident or something systemic. Perhaps I've been pushing myself a little bit too hard. But on the plus side, the issue of losing that 25 pounds I managed to put on due to sitting around for a couple of months has actually started to pay off. I'm already down about 5 pounds, and quite frankly, that's with very little effort, so hopefully there's a lot more to come in the future in that front. Or more accurately, a lot more to go. I've also got progress to report on the book reading challenge. Last night I finished reading Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, which I'll talk about in a minute, but immediately afterward I started reading Pet Sematary by Stephen King. I have to say, I really enjoyed the former and am currently really enjoying the latter, so I'm doing pretty well for reading books right now. Now, about Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, it's definitely one of the best books I've read so far this year. Maybe not quite on the same level as Silver Linings Playbook, but pretty close. In fact, if it weren't for a couple of very, very minor problems I had with the ending, it probably would have been my second Perfect 10 book of the year. In terms of plot, the book follows a character named Jacob as he investigates his grandfather's past in a mysterious island. Jason, you know how much I love plots involving mysterious islands. And through his investigation of his grandfather's past, he learns about several of his grandfather's old friends called the Peculiars who live in a weird sort of time loop alternate dimension. Now, the really great and unique thing about this book is the way that it integrates real-world pictures that had absolutely nothing to do with the story whatsoever, but inspired characters and plot events anyway. These sort of creepy and bizarre found photographs add a level of authenticity to the past storyline. And what I really loved about the majority of the novel is the way that it equated these peculiar children being hunted down by monsters with the Jews being hunted by the Nazis in World War II. Beyond that, it explored the ways that these children, and by extension the Jews who were hunted down and killed by the Nazis in World War II, were preserved in the photographs and other artifacts that they left behind. Which brings me to my problem with the ending, because the author, Ransom Riggs, seems to have settled the metaphor, which means the symbols ceased to be symbolic, they began to be literal. This was no longer a story which, at its core, was about the Nazis hunting the Jews. It became literally the story of these children being hunted by these monsters. Having said that, there is a sequel called Hollow City, which I look forward to reading sometime later in the year, so maybe my opinion on the ending will change once I've read more. But as it stands, I'm giving Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children a 5 for entertainment and a 4 for literary value. So close to perfect. So close. Moving on though, I'm interested to see who you choose for your first Badass Mother Friday tomorrow. So good luck with that. Which just leaves one thing to go today, Battleship. And to start with, your attack on C3 was a miss. And I retaliate with the same strategy that you used, random choice, F6.